perfection. Absolute perfection. Looks like there's a pretty big creek down there. I think we're going all the way down there and then following that creek up today. We're doing a big circle. We're about at least 40 miles from the nearest town. And this is only the beginning of hundreds of miles of trails in one of the wildernesses of this country. It's good to get off the beaten track as much as possible because one just realizes how fortunate we really are as Americans, of course other countries as well. Look at the kinnikinnick, how it spreads down the rock just perfectly. It's a native species. Is that Uva ursi? Uva ursi, I think. I'm told kinnikinnick translates as pipe smoking weed in one of the Native American languages. Every 4 years we elect a new president, and yet all this has been here for 100 years more. Well, it's been here for thousands of years, but it's been protected wilderness owned by the people for over a century. You think back and it was Frederick Law Olmsted and John Muir, Teddy Roosevelt, some of the first voices to say we need to set places like this aside. Look at that. We're going way down there. I might even be able to see a bridge. You can get all the way to Bellingham if you keep going this way. You can get to Mount Baker ski area, you can get to Bellingham. These trails are maintained by volunteers, by the U.S. Forest Service, by AmeriCorps, by Washington Trail Association, by the DNR, by the Okanagan County Backcountry Horsemen Association. Everybody does their part, and they don't complain. What do they do it for? There's no reason to do this, to build a trail out into here. There's no reason to go on a hike. And yet people build this. Great mental and physical strain to maintain it. So people like me and my dog can go out here and be away from stoplights for afternoon, and people who want to drive 90 on Highway 97 when they're one car length behind you, and when you're worrying about your job and what it means and for your future and where it will lead you, and you have a day job and a business and you're trying to figure out how to keep all the plates spinning. And you can come out here. Not all people can come out here. There's people that are disabled, there's people that are elderly, there's elderly people, I'm sure there's people in their 90s that are better backpackers than me. But a lot of people will never see this. And the people that can see this, that are owners of it, may spend their whole lifetime never seeing it. Spend their whole lifetime. Look at that valley. The edge of the North Cascades Mountains. They'll spend their whole lifetime glued to Facebook, sitting in each other's houses, talking about the neighbors, complaining about the neighbors, driving back and forth to their jobs in order to scrape by, to provide for their family, working themselves into the ground, living for their children, but not having their own life. Watching Comcast television, CNN, worse, Fox News, if you can even call it news. Being caught up in the political dramas that are omniternal. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but I do watch people deteriorate, fall into dissolution, domestic violence, suicide, trying to keep up an unsustainable lifestyle. Even me, with my relatively easy life as a bachelor in a house that my family owns free and clear, if I didn't have places like this, I couldn't do it. I haven't been on a real trail, end quote, in several years. I've been on, maybe at least 5 years, I've been on old logging roads that are trails. But there's nothing like this thin ribbon or string of a path that crosses through vast open spaces. A small path that connects a person to civilization. It's the only thing that connects you to civilization when you're out here. There might not be another person on this trail for a couple days, maybe even more. And it's here. Well, finally some water. Found some water, Morgan? Looks like there's a little seep here. Pretty dry up here. It's time for winter for sure. Oh, it's getting muddy. Well, I better hang. Got just some mud, but some of the things I think about. I complain, bitch and moan about our country and the dissolution, the seemingly downward spiral in energy is happening back there, 50 miles, 30 miles, 40 miles. But I get out here and I realize how fortunate I really am. It's not that other countries don't have recreation or trails, of course, but there's a particular feel to the American trail, to the Western trail within that. Some countries you can't even leave your village without getting robbed on the road or worse. And yet this is open, free, and no matter what happens every 4 years, so far, belongs to us, belongs to me and my dog and I, belongs to you.